As parents, we all want to give our kids every advantage in life, especially when it comes to their education. Unfortunately, our school system is failing to teach our children about one of the most fundamental parts of life: money. In this video, you will learn why good financial education is so important and give you some of the tools you'll need to introduce the subject to your own kids. It's a process that should begin in childhood and continue all the way into young adulthood. Schools try to give kids the tools they'll need to go out and get a good job. They teach how to be an employee, not how to be an entrepreneur. Most teachers simply aren't equipped to provide financial education. They come from a world of verifiable facts and figures. An answer on a test is either right or wrong. But in the real world, things are a lot more complicated than that. We're taught to work hard, avoid debt, and save money for retirement. But we're not taught that there are different types of income or how to read a financial statement. So what's the perfect time to teach a child about money? There's no hard and fast rule. But a good rule of thumb is when a child is able to tell the difference between a $1 bill and a $5 bill. When they can do this, they're ready to begin their financial education. This education won't be a process that takes a matter of weeks or months. Financial education takes years, encompassing 3 distinct windows of learning, each with their own specific needs. The key message here is that a solid financial education adapts itself to meet the needs and experiences of the student. While it's important to choose the right career, the specific profession you choose isn't really the most important decision you'll need to make. What is more important is deciding where you want to work in the cash flow quadrant. Finding the quadrant that's right for you isn't something that's taught in school. But it may be one of the most important decisions you ever make. The key message here is that finding your place in the cash flow quadrant is more important than choosing a specific profession. What does this mean? There are 4 income quadrants, each of which is delineated by a letter. E for employee, this is where most people find themselves. S is for small business or self-employed. That can mean anyone who works for a commission or fee, like doctors and lawyers. B stands for big business entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs, who start companies that employ hundreds of people. Finally, I stands for investors and financial geniuses like Warren Buffett. The school system prepares kids for a life in either the E or the S quadrant. They're taught to study hard to get a good job with a steady paycheck. Unfortunately, these 2 quadrants also shoulder the heaviest tax burden. It's those in the B and I quadrants who legally pay a little or no taxes. Real financial independence is only achievable in one of these 2 quadrants. Part of the problem with the educational system is that it trains students to be specialists in a particular field. This may help guarantee success in the E and S quadrants, but reaching the top of the B and I quadrants requires a different skill set. Successful entrepreneurs and investors need to be generalists, not specialists. In school, your grades reflect how well you've mastered a given subject. It's a world of absolutes. Right or wrong, pass or fail. A students tend to become specialists, working in the E or S quadrants. Students who get C may have talents in other areas that allow them to see the bigger picture. And that's why we say that A students work for C students. Most schools only teach students how to work for ordinary income like regular and steady paychecks. Ordinary income is taxed at the highest possible rate, even savings accounts and 401k plans. This is another good reason why it's important to teach your kids about taxes. It's a complicated subject for everyone, so the earlier they can begin to get a handle on it, the better. Passive income is also known as cash flow. These are assets, which can very simply be defined as anything that puts money into your pocket. On the other hand, liabilities take money out of your pocket. Many people still incorrectly define their house as an asset when it's actually a liability. A real asset is a rental property, such as an apartment complex. This provides a steady source of income that is taxed at the lowest of all rates. As you might have guessed, passive income is the type of income that'll help you achieve financial independence. Teaching your kids about the 3 types of income will give them a financial edge in the future. But you can't rely on the school system to do it because most teachers work for ordinary income. They're specialists. And many of them are not even aware there are 3 types of income. So it's incumbent upon parents to provide their children with this financial education. So how can parents satisfy this need for safety through education? When it's time for them to enter the workforce, instead of urging your children to get a part-time job, encourage them to seek out opportunities. This could mean working for a mentor where they get paid in real-world experience instead of a paycheck. Or finding a job in a fast food restaurant that allows them to work in a variety of capacities like cashier, cook, or even a shift manager. At this point in their lives, amassing a wide variety of experiences can be more valuable than a minimum wage paycheck. These simple ideas can help give young people a sense of control over their financial future. It's only when we feel safe that we can move on to total self-actualization. Whether they're rich or poor, some parents have a bad habit of trying to show their kids how much they love them with money. They'll buy their kids expensive athletic shoes, toys, and sometimes even cars. When this happens all the time, the kids grow up believing all they need to do is ask for something, and they'll get it. Which is wrong. Our schools aren't helping fight the entitlement mentality either. These days, when kids compete in school tournaments, everybody gets a trophy just for participating. What kind of lesson is that for children? That you're a winner just for showing up? Children need to understand exactly what money is. It's a means of exchange. That's it. If you do something for me, you get something in return. And the more you give, the more you receive. Here's an idea to try: set up a system where kids are rewarded for their hard work. The more they go above and beyond what's expected of them, the more they get in return. This is also a good way to discuss the concept of generosity with them. The more generous they are with their time and their effort, the more they'll get back, not just in money, but in experience and education. The case against the entitlement mentality is best summed up by the proverb, "Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime." Before you give your son or daughter a handout, ask yourself this: are you teaching them to fish? Or are you teaching them how to ask for a fish? Many common financial problems begin with the same root cause. People mistake financial advice for financial education. These may sound the same, but there's a big difference. Getting financial advice means you're asking someone to tell you what to do with your money. Financial education means finding out what to study so you can decide for yourself. The key message here is: teach your kids to know the difference between financial advice and financial education. The key to real education is the ability to see more than one perspective at the same time. Debt can either be good or bad depending on how it's used. Some might describe a millionaire as greedy, while others consider him ambitious. This is the skill we want to pass on to our children. Don't tell them what to do with their money. Give them the tools they need to make those decisions themselves. The key message in this video is that we all hope our children will be better off than we were. A good financial education can help make that a reality and give them a huge advantage in life. But we can't rely on others to provide that education. It's up to us, as parents, to educate our kids in the language of money. That's it for today. Leave a comment below with what you think. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that like button. Either way, see you in the next one.